It should be like mental illness is it's like a snowflake, you know? It's like
I don't fingerprint or a snowflake.
Fingerprint. What are other original things? It's like a tree. It's like
mental illness is like a tree.
It's like a puzzle piece. Hi, people of the internet. I'm Jaquie.
And I'm Erica.
And we are here again with Justified Delirium.
Jaquie finally decided to come back.
I did. Mm-hmm. I was out of the country on vacation, and it was glorious and beautiful and warm and sunny, and I'm back here. And it's...
Welcome. I've been telling her it's been like this for weeks. So.
It's bad. So, but gratitude for Erica for holding it down while I was gone. This is our 4th video. Really excited about it.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year!
So last time we were together, we talked about our personal journeys of like how we came to understand our own anxiety and what symptoms were presented with our anxiety, and some of the other mental illnesses that we deal with, like for example, I have OCD, and then how we decided to proceed and get help. This week, we are going to talk about what are those next steps. So what? You've had this,
now
like,
what?
You're like, you've had a realization, and like, so what? Now what? What happens? So after Erica, you came to the realization that you had a mental illness. What were your next steps?
So after talking to the doctor, and she was like, yeah, you seem to be experiencing this physically pretty extreme. So she gave me a prescription for an anti-anxiety medicine. She sent it to the pharmacy, and I went there, and I picked it up, and then I sat there at home with the meds for probably a couple weeks, and I would just I would Google it, like the side effects of Zoloft, and...
Why?
Because, because the doctor tells you when they give it to you.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, your stomach might hurt, and you might experience some side effects, but, and it'll take 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm like, what do you mean side effects? What are you telling me? I don't want my stomach to hurt. So I would read the side effects online, and yeah, it was like you could have diarrhea, you could just upset stomach in general. Your anxiety could get worse before it gets better. Yes. It's not instant, that kind of thing. So, and I was starting a brand new job, which also played into my heightened anxiety. And I was like, oh my gosh, I do not want to get diarrhea. I don't want my new coworkers to see me running to the bathroom, or like loss of appetite, all those kinds of things. I was really worried over, like, what if today I didn't feel good and I just want to go home? Well, you can't really do that when you start a new job. You want to make a good impression. So
sure do. Finally
I started taking it, and yeah, I experienced some diarrhea, and I was really anxious the entire time, and I was really disappointed after day 1, not feeling better. Still feeling my anxiety. Day 2, still feeling it. And I was like, is this worth it, kind of thing. And then by, even after day 30, it's still like, what the frick? Like, why am I doing this? Taking this stupid pill? Like, is it doing anything? Is it just making me feel weird? And then I just slowly stopped thinking about it, and slowly started doing things that I didn't do before because of fear. So all of a sudden it's like, hey, I'm driving in the car, and I didn't think about, like, I'm going to get in a car accident at every intersection, or sitting in a meeting and not thinking I'm going to get diarrhea or get sick or something like that. And all of a sudden, like, trying new things and getting excited about life and stuff like that. So all of a sudden, I think it was probably 3 months in when I finally was like, whoa, I haven't experienced those anxiety symptoms to the scale. Like, you still get anxious and, like, but excited about things. There's difference between fear and excitement, that kind of thing.
Fixation.
Right, yeah. And the cyclical thoughts were starting to slow down, and I was like, this is really cool, but I don't want to scare it away, so I'm not going to talk about it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it took me many months after they gave me the prescription before I actually saw dramatic changes in my life. But what about you? What did you do?
So after I talked to a doctor because my anxiety came out primarily in like physical forms, and it was really severe. So they were like, hey, you might want to try some meds. And I was like, I actually get really nervous trying new things, because like, what if I have a reaction? And I was like fixated on that. Like, I would ask like people to like check my heart rate. I had an Apple Watch, and I had to stop wearing it because I was constantly checking my heart rate. And I like, so I expressed that concern to my doctor, and I was like, hey, yes, and also really nervous to do that. So they suggested that I try behavioral therapy. So that was like one of my next steps, was like, yes, taking meds, which can take a long time for you to actually feel a change. And then also to like talk to someone and be like, how can I develop coping skills?
Right.
How can I like talk through some of my fairly irrational fears? How can I like work on some breathing strategies? And that way, like, I was able to work on it in a way where I'm not dependent on something, but I'm being aided by something. So I'm being aided by the medicine, but I'm also trying to work through in a different way how to like manage my anxiety when it does arise. So those were just 2 steps that I took. A lot of people do a lot of different things, like reach out to a friend, and like maybe their first step is like just talking about it. For example, the first person I texted when I felt like I was having anxiety was Erica. Yep. And we didn't live in the same state for a couple of years, and so
Which was a terrible thing.
But I texted her, and I was like, what does it feel like? Yeah. What should I do? Like, and what do I do? Like, what do I do now? And so a lot of people like to reach out to friends or family members, and whatever you are most comfortable with is what counts. Right. So if you're comfortable talking to someone in your family, do that. If you are not, find someone who you can trust, or someone who's a professional. Right. If you like know how to manage your anxiety with self-care,
share those ideas with us or with the community, or you know. And that's the beautiful thing about the internet now, is that, well, the internet is just that you can find your community and find people who are struggling with similar things, or like thriving together, that kind of thing. So you can find that niche of people and get encouragement that way. So
and I think that's something that like we would love to do. Like these are just steps that we took on our journeys. So if you have any ideas of steps other people could take, we would love to hear those. We have links to our email in the caption below. We have our Instagram and our Twitter feed, Facebook. We want to hear from you. Let's continue the conversation
and end the stigma. Thanks, guys.